Hello, everybody. It's Royce here. Welcome, all you warriors, to my The Four Horsemen YouTube channel. We're all about rock and roll, classic rock, some metal thrown in there too. We like some heavy metal, rock and roll, classic rock. That's what this channel is all about. Today, we're going to step back in time and explore some of the music that we fell in love with in our youth. And for me, I'm going to kind of concentrate on middle 60s to lower 70s, but people are welcome. We're all different ages, so you can pretty much do whatever you'd like. So thank you all so much. Now, if you haven't already, smash that like button. What that does is it encourages the algorithm to spread the show out and present it in front of a lot of people. Hi, Chris. How you doing?
I'm very good. Royce, yourself?
Okay, good. Yeah, doing fine. Just explaining to people how we're going to get going here. We're going to be talking about the music we enjoyed in our youth, mainly teen years, preteen, some maybe a little older than that. It's just kind of wide open. We're going to do it's going to be really fast and loose tonight. Okay, let's talk about the music that we loved early on and what kind of shaped our taste for the music we're watching and listening to today. So anyway, we're gonna just get right into it. All right. And the first thing I want to do a special shout out for a genre of music that I fell in love with in my, 15, 16 years old. I really got into this, and it seemed like all my friends were into it too. And that's soul music, okay? I just want to give a little shout out to soul music. It looks like, let's see, just the facts, man. Does anybody see him out there?
Nope, haven't seen him.
Okay, something just came across the screen, and I don't know if that was an email or what, but I can't. Dwayne's here. Hey, how you doing, Dwayne? I am one of us. We got Tim Henry, Knucklehead Rock, Chris Elias, my partner here in crime. Yeah, Divining Dragons here. Dr. Rick is here. Rock and Robin Bird is here. Yeah, we really have a full house tonight. So anyway, let me get going. We're gonna okay, Dan. Hey, Dan, how you doing, brother?
Doing good.
So you understood what we were doing tonight, right?
Oh,
We're just
yeah.
gonna cover the music that we loved as teens and stuff like that. So I want to just get right into it. And what I was saying was what I want to do, and just so you know, Michael Nolan didn't stream tonight. I looked for him for 20 minutes, and I finally came to my own chat, and there were people here that had also been looking for him and couldn't find him. So I don't know what happened. Maybe
Well, I do know he did a stream on Friday. So I don't know if
he did, yeah.
Yeah.
He did a stream on Friday. I did a small pre-recorded on Friday myself. So anyway, as I was saying, there's a certain genre that I absolutely fell in love with early on. Okay, and we called it soul music. Everybody calls it soul music. And this is one of the biggest bands. I might make myself a little larger for a couple of album showings. This is the Temptations' greatest hits. I absolutely love this band. And I'm going to read a couple of these songs. I'm sure they're going to be very familiar to most people. Beauty's Only Skin Deep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My Girl, written for him by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, who also wrote My Guy, I think it was for Mary Wells. Get Ready, The Girl's All Right With Me, The Way You Do, The Things You Do, Ain't Too Proud to Beg. None of us are, not when it comes to the girls. So anyway, Temptations, I was a huge fan of the Temptations. I had tons of their music a long time ago when it was all 8 tracks and stuff like that. Another one that I really liked, the one and only Marvin Gaye, okay? Iconic. This is an album of his #1 hits, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and read a couple of those to you. Okay. Sexual Healing. What's Going On Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing with Tammy Terrell, a duet. Too Busy Thinking About My Baby, Ain't That Peculiar? I Heard It Through the Grapevine. What a wonderful version of that he did. Mercy, Mercy Me. Let's see. I'll Be Doggone. That's not everyone that's on here, but I'm just skimming through it. I actually have a lot to show tonight. The only album I had where I could show you one of my all-time favorite soul artists, and there were many that I loved, but there was nothing like Otis Redding. I mean, if you could find me anybody that's listened to Sitting on the Dock of the Bay more times than I have, please introduce him to me. I want to shake his hand. I have listened to that song 10,000 times over the years. Otis Redding, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. This happens to be, this album is it's the Monterey International Pop Festival. One side of this album is Jimi Hendrix performing, and the other side is Otis Redding performing, okay? Monterey International Pop Festival. It's the only thing I had with Otis on it. I missed buying a couple of his albums out at Boo Boo Records in San Luis Obispo. I'm not going to make that mistake next time I'm out there. Okay, so that was, I just wanted a little shout out for soul, because that was kind of a special genre for me early on. And you know what? I still listen to it. I still take my CDs and stuff of Temptations and so many of the others, and I listen to them when I'm in my vehicles. So a couple of more early influences, okay? I was 12 years old. I had one of those little shirt pocket transistor radios that were about that big. Usually you could only tune one station, and that's how poor they were. And they had a single plug-in earphone into one ear. And one of the older guys in the neighborhood came over, a friend of mine, and says, hey, Royce, what are you listening to? I said, Chuck Berry. He goes, you know about Chuck Berry? I go, yeah. He goes, well, what song are you listening to? I said, Riding Along in My Automobile. He goes, oh, that's a great song. That's a newer song. He goes, but check him out. He's got a whole bunch of other songs that are even better. And I became very early on. I mean, this is like pre-British invasion, or right when it was about to happen. And I was listening to Chuck Berry, and that cemented my love of rock and roll music, listening to this. This is a great one here. It's called The Great 28. It's got 28 big hits on it. I mean, all great stuff, Maybelline, Too Much Monkey Business, Brown-Eyed Handsome Man, Roll Over Beethoven, Sweet Little 16, Reelin' and a Rockin', Johnny Be Good. I'm just throwing a few out. Carol, Memphis, Sweet Little Rock and Roller, Little Queenie, Bye Bye Johnny, Nadine, No Particular Place to Go. That was that song I was just talking about. Riding Along in My Automobile, Baby Beside Me at the Wheel. Cruising and playing the radio with no particular place to go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what made me fall in love with this. Okay. Anyway, let me stop there for a minute, because I'm not the only one on the panel here. I don't want to get carried away. So let's work our way around. Hey, Chris, you got some stuff that you want to start out showing from your youth?
Well, obviously, because of being a Gen Xer and everything, my selection is probably going to be a little more diverse.
And that's fine.
And to start with, I just had, looking through earlier, some of the albums that were always around in the house and always being played, like
right.
This particular one.
Oh yeah, no, you can't go wrong right there. Let me tell you.
And at my house, it was equally. It was any of these three: The Wall, Wish You Were Here,
The Wall, Wish You
Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah, right.
And I remember Gumma because of the picture on the back.
Okay.
And my dad, be careful with the axe, Eugene.
Right.
Well, funny quick story. Him and my uncle, his uncle, they were about the same age. He had an awesome stereo, so they'd be playing Careful with That Axe, Eugene, how it's all nice and quiet and everything. And then when the screaming starts, they'd crank it right up and watch everybody in the neighborhood come running out on the porch, see who just got killed. True story.
No, I believe you, but trust me. That's great. Hey, Dan, you want to go ahead and share something, and we'll just keep going around in circles. Yep. If you've got albums to show, or
no, I don't have anything to show, but
that's fine.
I guess it's kind of my first exposure to the music in the 60s was because of my older sister. She was 4 years older than I am, and every week she'd get to go to the store, and my parents would buy her a 45. So, and she put on the record player, so I was basically listening to the music that she liked, and it was stuff like the Turtles, the Fifth Dimension. The Five-Man Electrical Band,
right?
Some of the, I still love a lot of those old songs. Like I love the Five-Man Electrical Band. That's a really good group. It's Western Union and Zip Code.
Okay,
Great songs.
Right,
and
right.
and that's when I fell in love with the Turtles too. And I never got to see the Turtles in concert, but I did finally get to see Flo and Eddie perform
Okay.
together. And in fact, one of them just passed away just a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember. I don't remember if it was Flo or Eddie. One of them did pass away though. But they played all the Turtle
Okay.
hits. They played all the
Right.
Turtle hits when I saw them.
Right on.
And of course,
Yeah,
there was
the Turtles. The Turtles were big. Yeah, I haven't seen any of their music in a while lately.
yeah, Happy Together, and yeah,
Yes, Happy Together. That was a big hit. Yeah. So
and
go ahead, Dan. Go
I'm
ahead.
trying to remember some of the other stuff that I used to listen to back then. Of course, my taste in music at that age, because I was born in '57, so I was only maybe 10 years old during the Summer of Love. So I listened to things like the Monkees, and
Right.
Herman's Hermits.
Oh, Dan.
You know,
The reason I'm laughing is I bought just today for a show I want to do next week. Next week's show is going to be on the British invasion, and I bought a Herman's original pressing in mono. I bought that today at one of the local antique stores, and I was really excited to find that. I found that in the Best of the Kinks, and they were both pretty prominent in the British invasion. So I'm starting to pull together all my British invasion stuff for next week's show. And what I want to do the week after that is how American bands responded to the British invasion.
Yeah, one of the coolest concerts I went to, like I said, I listened to Herman's Hermits and the Monkees and all that. And I think it was in 1986. I actually got to see Herman's Hermits open up for the Monkees, which is
nice.
Cool. Everybody. Mike Nesmith wasn't there though, so it was only 3 of the Monkees at the time.
The crazier one than that is Jimi Hendrix opening for the Monkees.
Oh yeah.
He walked out on about the 7th show out of 26 or 7 concerts that were supposed to be done. He just got fed up. He'd be, they'd all the 14-year-old girls in the front 3 rows were screaming, "We want Davy, we want Davy."
Yeah.
And Jimmy'd be up there, he'd play "Foxy Lady," and then he'd beckon them to all shout "Foxy Lady," and they'd all shout "Foxy Davy." And he finally got fed up and just flipped everybody off and walked out. That's a true story.
Another group I listened to back in those days too, and I totally forgot about it, was the Jackson 5. That was another band.
Oh yeah.
Back when they were actually the Jackson 5.
Jackson 5, yeah. When Michael looked normal, But they were they were popular.
With the Jackson 5, they even had cartoons on Saturday morning. The Jackson 5 cartoons. Yeah.
Right. Okay, I want to thank my friend Michael Boswell here. Michael Boswell has just given me a $2 super chat, and just prior to that, a $2 super chat. Michael, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. And it's good that you're here. I mean, especially, we missed Michael tonight. I started searching. I went on Michael's show earlier today, and there were people in his chat. I said hi to a few people. I thought, well, this is going to be a big show. Then I go back, and I spent 20 minutes looking for him, and I can't find him. And we got Dr. Rick here. We got good buddy Jersey Devil, Doc Insomnia. Me and Doc Insomnia have a lot of fun. He goes on my show sometimes early and leaves me a bunch of comments, and then I try to react to some of them.
Dr. Insomnia, you just mentioned Dave Clark 5 in the chat. That's another band. As a kid, I used to get confused between the Dave Clark 5 and the Beatles. I used to get them confused.
Well, you know what? They were really big in the British invasion. In fact, they had the biggest fan club of any of the bands. And I have the album that's got that in the liner notes. And that'll be part of the British invasion too. That I'm going to do next week.
Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of have forgotten about the Dave Clark 5. I don't know why.
Well, they have. Yeah. I mean, when do you hear about Jerry and the Pacemakers singing "Ferry Across the Mersey"? That was a huge hit. There was so many. I mean, the British invasion was crazy. And I tell you what, I think they just really caught everybody off guard over here. It all started, of course, with the Beatles coming here and playing on a show, and after that, it just exploded. It was just crazy. So anyway, yeah, we've got a lot of people here, guys. Be vigilant. We did have some trolls a couple of shows back. Made some pretty nasty comments too. I went searching for them, but I was so many pages behind on the chat. I zoomed to the bottom and then started working my way up, and I couldn't find them. And I went back up quite a ways and started working my way back down. I finally came across a couple of them that I banned, and I don't. And from what I understand from people that were watching, they had already kicked them off the show, but their names were still there. So when I clicked on the 3 dots to the far right, or just in the white space over there, you get these options. You can kick someone off the show. You can time them out. You can ban them for good, or I don't know if everybody can ban them for good, because most people have kind of a middle of the road. You're a moderator. If you've got a wrench behind your name, you're a moderator, and you can throw people off the show. So anyway, we're having fun with this. You know, I just wanted to. I was mentioning my soul music earlier. You know, Temptations. I showed Marvin Gaye. Otis Redding was huge, but you know, there was also the Four Tops, the Isley Brothers. And if you ever want to laugh, go look up the Isley Brothers, a video of the Isley Brothers with Jimi Hendrix playing for them. And I've watched that many times. and what you've got there is you've got Jimi Hendrix and another guitar player, a bass player, and some horn players, and they're all just rocking back and forth. You know, they're just all in cadence. You know, and Jimmy's playing, and he gets bored, and he takes his fret hand and he turns it up like this. Then he flips back. Then he flips back up. You know, because he's bored. You know, he's not used to just doing this in somebody else's band. And so anyway, it's really funny to watch. I mean, I get a kick out of it. The other one I get a kick out of is go look up the interview. You can Google it and you'll get them. Interview with Ike Turner, Ike and Tina Turner fame. And a guy's interviewing him. He says, you fired Jimi Hendrix? And this is after Hendrix just had really blown up. You know, well, he had fired him before he was big. And he goes, why would you fire Jimi Hendrix? He goes, well, you know, when I first started hearing about this Jimi Hendrix rock god, I didn't know it was the same Jimi Hendrix. You know, we had him out there, and all he wanted to do was mess with those pedals. He had the fuzz pedal and the wah pedal and this pedal and that pedal. You know, he wouldn't even play the guitar, just messing with the pedals all day long. So I fired him. It's funnier than hell. I know I've told that story probably too many times. I still get a kick out of it. Ike Turner, what a crazy guy, man. You know,
nobody was paying attention to him. They were all watching Jimmy. With good reason. I mean,
well, either that or they're all watching Tina in any event. You know, he wasn't getting
Ike, for all his shortcomings, was a very talented guitar player, but he's no Jimmy.
He was. That's right. So anyway, I mean the Isley Brothers, Wilson Pickett, Diana Ross of the Supremes, Aretha Franklin, Smokey Robinson of the Miracles, who wrote a whole lot of the Temptations songs and songs for other people too. He was really a prolific writer. James Brown, Sam Cooke, Junior Walker and the All-Stars. We loved them all. And we listened to them all. So anyway, I'm gonna skip past that now.
Rock and Robin just gave you a super chat, and she mentions a band that I used to listen to as well.
Oh, she did.
Oh, Revere.
Okay, she must be below. She must be below me. Oh, there we go. Hey, Rock and Robin, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I got an album by Paul Revere and the Raiders, Midnight Ride, for $10 recently. That's amazing. I think that's what I just paid for my Herman's Hermits original pressing in mono. You know, and so I've seen it at this place. It's been there for a while, and for whatever reason, it just hasn't sold. So when I saw it, man, I just had to grab it. You know, especially with the show I'm going to do next week, the British Invasion. You know, so Rock and Robin, thank you so much. Really appreciate your support. Yeah, it's a bummer that we couldn't find Michael. I don't know what happened. I was on his show earlier, and there were people in the chat interacting and talking back and forth. And I jumped in for a few minutes, said hi to a couple of people, and then went ahead and backed out after that. And when I went looking for him, I don't know what happened. I know that him and I do some private messaging back and forth on Facebook Messenger. And one of the things I noticed was it said I had 2 messages from Michael Nolan. I went there and he deleted both of them. And I was thinking, oh, what's that all about? Well, as I live and breathe, it's Rampage Video. How you doing?
Very dawson.
You didn't bring a big white bowl full of noodles tonight, did you? Okay, I'm just messing with you.
No noodles today. No soup for you.
No noodles today. My love has gone away.
You know,
Okay,
we
no.
mentioned Paul Revere. We've mentioned Paul Revere and the Raiders. I got to mention too. Last week, my girlfriend Joanne was just up in Boston area. That's where I got my T-shirt. And
Okay.
actually went to Paul Revere's house. So that's pretty cool. The
Oh,
real
you
Paul
did?
Revere.
Well, no,
she
kidding.
did. She did. I did. I wasn't there. I got a T-shirt.
Got a T-shirt. I still got to hit you up for. I might have to give you some money before you go to Birmingham, and just for a souvenir. Pick a souvenir up for me. I mean, something cool. I mean, I don't know what it would. I know when I was at the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam, I picked up a really. Hey, Stormcop's here, James. How are you, brother? I seriously do not know what happened. Why didn't we have a tribal forum? I have no idea. I looked for 20 minutes. Then I came to my chat like more than an hour early, and there were people wondering why they can't find Michael. And so, I knew as soon as I saw that. That's why I came here early. I knew when I saw that something went wrong. Hopefully just a simple technical difficulty. Stormcop, thanks for joining us, brother. We're going to be talking about the music that we fell in love with when we were teenagers, early and later teenagers. And I let everybody know that next week I'm going to be covering the British invasion, the British invasion bands. And the week after that, I'm going to cover what American bands' response was to the British invasion, kind of controlling the narrative over here for so long. Rock and roll. So anyway, hope you guys will all join us for that. I think it's going to be a fun show. I've got a lot of British invasion albums. And I bought some more today. I bought a Greatest Hits of the Kinks, who's considered one of the top four, or slightly above the top four. And then I bought that Herman's Hermits original pressing, an old one. And it was in great shape too. And it was only like, I think 10 or 12 bucks. Original pressing in mono. So I was excited to get that. Okay, guys, so let's move on a little bit. Okay, now I talked about that genre that I loved so much, which was soul music, when I was like 16-ish, we'd already had the British invasion. I'd kind of slowed down on the Beatles and all that stuff, and they were kind of in their middle realm there. I picked back up with them with Sgt. Pepper's and Magical Mystery Tour, but I had a little dead zone in the middle where me and all my friends were just listening to soul music. We'd park out in the desert, and if Wolfman Jack wasn't broadcasting from Tijuana with a zillion watts that you can't do legally in the United States, if he wasn't broadcasting, then we just put our soul music in it. If Wolfman was on there laughing, and stuff like that, and cutting up and playing great music, we'd listen to the Wolfman. But anyway, so the other thing I wanted to show, now these are a couple of albums that also go back to my youth, just like the Chuck Berry stuff I showed you and stuff. This album, now this is a newer version of it, of course, but this album, this Elvis Presley golden record, Elvis's golden record, I had the original copy that my father had, and I don't know what happened to it. I may still have the cover. I might have opened the cover one day and the album was gone. I had a stack of really old stuff that came from my house when I was a kid. But this album was always there. And we were all Elvis fans when we were kids. In fact, my dad took us to the drive-in to watch all the Elvis movies. Many of our friends as he could stuff into the station wagon got to go with us. And he always paid everybody's way. He wouldn't take money from anybody. He'd buy their candy, their popcorn, their way in, their drinks, everything. So anyway, he was cool to all my friends, probably cooler than he was to me. But anyway, so this is Elvis's golden record. I grew up with this. I love this record. And so I had to buy one. It came in gold-colored vinyl. And then after that, the Beatles, a British invasion hit. Now here's another album. Here's another album that I grew up with. Okay, I grew up with this album. Okay, I don't know where it came from. I guess my dad just brought it home, and just like some of the Elvis stuff and everything. And it's a great album. Hard Day's Night. I should have known better with a girl like you. I'm just happy just to dance with you. And I love that song. And I love her. That little guitar hook. Dun, 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 bright are the stars that shine. Okay, let's see. So anyway, so we've got a lot of good songs here. Hard Day's Night, Can't Buy Me Love, Money Can't Buy Me Love. Anyway, I did want to actually mention a couple of the songs that were on the Elvis thing. Okay, I wanted to mention that we have Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog, Rockin' All the Time, Loving You, All Shook Up, Heartbreak Hotel. What an amazing song for that time period. Heartbreak Hotel, Jailhouse Rock, Love Me, Don't Be Cruel. Don't Be Cruel. These are every one of these is like a masterpiece almost. Okay. That's When Your Heartache Began. Let Me Be Your Teddy Bear. I used to work for a contractor, and he was in a band, and this was his favorite song to sing. He said the girls just went crazy when he sang "Let Me Be Your Teddy Bear." I heard him sing it one time. I wasn't sure why, but I can't sing, so I mean I'm not. Anyway, Any Way You Want It, I Want You, I Need You, and I Love You. So anyway, this was great. Great songs here. Okay, so what happened right after that? Okay, so we had the British invasion was kicking in, and it was a little crazy. And so I showed the album Help, but I also have, no, I'm sorry, I showed the A Hard Day's Night. This is Help. This is Help right here. And this is a parlophone from England, baby. And yeah, EMI from England. Mono, says mono. Okay, it says mono right here. So anyways, parlophone. It's kind of special when you get the parlophone stuff from England. It's got songs out like, well, Help. The Night Before, You Gotta Hide Your Love Away. Another Girl, You're Going to Lose That Girl. She's Got a Ticket to Ride. Okay, Ticket to Ride. That was a great song. Act Naturally. I think, yeah, Ringo sang that. That was a country and western song. Ringo did a few of those. It's Only Love. You Like Me Too Much. Tell Me What You See. I've Just Seen a Face. Oh, Yesterday. Okay, Dizzy Miss Lizzie. Okay. So anyway, so now we're totally engulfed in Beatles music. Okay, this is Meet the Beatles. This is the first album, the first American album. Okay, the American versions and the English versions were always different, even a different song mix on some of them. But this one had I Want to Hold Your Hand. I Saw Her Standing There. This Boy, It Won't Be Long. All I've Got to Do, All My Lovin'. Oh, wow. Don't Bother Me, Little Child. Till There Was You, Hold Me Tight, I Want to Be Your Man, and Not a Second Time. So another great early Beatles album. I started with my very first Beatles album about a week ago, and I've been playing every couple of days. I'll put 1 to 2 Beatle albums in, just trying to work my way through them all. And boy, I tell you what, when these things come on, you feel like you know all the lyrics. You feel like you can sing, if not the whole damn song along with it, if you wanted to, you can sing at least half of it. It might be a few rough patches, but once you hear it, it all comes back, So anyway, so that was a great one. Now we had a counterbalance. And I'm going to pull this out. This is early 62, 63 kind of stuff. And this should be the Beach Boys' Surfin' Safari, their very first album. I have a big collection of Beach Boy and Beatles albums, and I've done shows on both. But anyway, this is a great album. It's got Surfin' Safari, County Fair, 10 Little Indians, Chug-a-Lug, Little Miss America, 409. Save my nickels and save my dimes so I could get a brand new 409 engine for my car. Powerful engine. Okay. Surfin', Heads You Win, Tails I Lose, The Summertime Blues, Cuckoo Clock, Moondoggy, and The Shift. Okay. So anyway, we'll stop right there. I got to get the panel involved. Okay, here we go. Chris, let's see. Sorry, Chris. Okay. Well, okay, the order changed. The order changed. We'll go straight across to Dan this time. Hey, Dan, I love that Haight-Ashbury sign behind you.
Oh yeah,
You
I've been
see
to
that?
I've been to Haight-Ashbury several times.
You know what?
I love visiting that place.
Me too. And you know what? You told me that back when I had made this little video, a little tour of Haight-Ashbury that I did.
Yeah.
You told me how you and your wife had been there, I don't know, a dozen times or something like that. And I was there. I was there for the first time. Let me see. The Summer of Love was 67. I didn't get up there till 71.
Well,
4 years after the height of the Summer of Love.
It's been quite a while since I've been out there. Last time I was out there was in '98, so it's been a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I was up there when I made that video. It was probably like, I don't know, 3.5 years ago. I took my wife up to the airport, International Airport in San Francisco. She flew to her sister's house in Texas. And so I thought I'd just kill some time, and I went over to Pier 39 and made a video. And I went out to, you can look across the bay and see
Alcatraz.
Alcatraz. Oh man, what a collection of shops and restaurants and everything on that Pier 39. Yeah. It's just crazy.
Yep.
And then of course, Fisherman's Wharf goes up from that, up the street, and then
you talk about Fisherman's Wharf, that gets me hungry for a crab sandwich. I love the crab sandwiches at Fisherman's Wharf.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm gonna have to have one next time I go there. I love crab too. I mean, the king crab got insane. I remember we used to go up to Vaughn's and you'd find a king crab on sale, sometimes like for $5.99, $7.99 a pound.
Wow.
And before I knew it, it was 50, 60, 70 bucks a pound. But I think it's down in the 30s now, but it's crazy. You got to get used to snow crab, which is fine. Any of that crab dipped in melted butter, drawn butter is good.
I was going to mention, you mentioned earlier how you had a transistor radio in your front pocket with a little earplug and all that.
One earplug, but right.
Some of the technology we had back in those days too. If you didn't have a transistor radio, I mean, I couldn't afford to buy albums back when I was a kid.
Right.
But for Christmas one year, I got a little reel-to-reel tape recorder.
Oh yeah.
So I would turn the radio on and I'd sit there with my microphone, just waiting for my song, and I'd turn the microphone on and record it on the reel-to-reel tape.
That's how some of the Beatles songs were recorded for the first time. That's cool. Yeah, I think we all tried stuff like that. We're all desperate. Okay, now we haven't heard from Mr. Dawson Walters, so we're going to drop straight down right now to Dawson. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How about you?
Good.
So you showed us that Beatles album. I listened to Till There Was You probably about 50 times in a row last week. Like when I go to a Beatles song, I'll just listen to that one 50 times, and then I'll go to the next song. So thanks for showing that.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. I got, I have like 25 Jimi Hendrix albums and maybe 22 Beatles albums. And I was just picking kind of select stuff that was either early in my like of the Beatles or late in my like of the Beatles. Like when the Beatles came out, everybody loved the Beatles. They were the biggest thing in the world. But then, as things settled down, I mean, the Beatles stopped touring in '66 and was over a few years after that. As things settled down, people started drifting off. All that great psychedelic music came in, Cream and, so many other bands that were just amazing were coming in. And people kind of started getting away from the Beatles. I mean, I know me and my friends did. We were listening to so many other things. A lot of psychedelic rock and harder rock and edgier stuff. And but anyway, so I wanted to show a couple of early Beatles things when everybody absolutely loved them. And they were like, altering our taste on what we liked and stuff like that. But then I came back to the Beatles. When Sgt. Pepper's came out. My older brother, Robin, who was 9 years my senior, and I always considered kind of an adult. I didn't even know I had an older brother until I was almost 5 years old. He showed up and started living with us again. And so eventually we became really good friends one time when he showed up in a new car he'd bought. And he said, "Royce, I want to take you for a ride in my new car." I go, "Hey, great, Robin." We jump in the car and he's zooming around town, going through the gears and stuff. I'm having a good time. And he goes, let me ask you something, Royce. I go, what's that, Robin? Like I said, I always thought of him as an adult because he's 9 years older than me. And he goes, do you smoke pot? And it kind of frightened me a little bit. It would be like my father asking me if I smoke pot, with the belt in his right hand. So I go, why are you asking me that? He goes, well, because I do, and you talk like you do. And then everything got comfortable after that. And so we used to drive. Me and my friends used to hitchhike. We didn't have cars. We'd hitchhiked out to his house in Las Vegas. He was a crap stealer. And we'd hang out with him and we'd listen to Sgt. Pepper's, and we do that a lot. And then later on, when Magical Mystery Tour came out, that was kind of added to the mix. And of course, other things were there too. We were listening to Cream and some other stuff, Creedence Clearwater, the stuff that was popular at the time. But that was the closest I ever got to my oldest brother. He passed away in his 40s, as did my older sister in her 40s. And so it's just me and my little brother left, the one that drew devil's horns on the Beatles on my first Help album. But anyway, he says, like an original pressing, right? He goes, how do you know it wasn't you? No, Richie, it was you.
I didn't ruin my own album.
Yeah, right. Okay, guys. So, okay, Chris. So now, when you were a teenager, now Dawson, I was going to ask you, what were you listening to as a teenager?
So I think it was probably Maroon 5 and Katy Perry.
No.
That's kind of what was popular at the time. So yeah, I did listen to that, but I mentioned in the chat earlier, I think the biggest thing in my teens was the Doors. Like, ironically, because that was something that lasted throughout. It was rock and roll, and you could pretty much go anywhere and they'll play it because there was this Doors remix with the Doors and some DJ in 2012, and the song blew up, Breaking a Sweat, and it was just something that I liked. It was rock and roll, and then other people liked it too. So that's kind of where I jumped into music.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, Maroon 5. Well, isn't that Bob Dylan's son? Am I mixing up a couple of bands here?
No, so Bob Dylan's son is the Wallflowers.
Wallflowers.
Yeah, so they opened up for Eric Clapton in Cleveland a couple weeks ago. I drove down there. I missed Jacob Dylan's band, but I did see Clapton. The parking.
Wow, that's amazing.
But no, that was a good time. And
yeah, Joseph Blue's right. CC&R were great and prolific. I love that band. Eric Schultz, my brother. Hello, Dr. Rick. Winslow Red Cross is here. My older half brother, 12 years older than me, always acted like a parent. I hated it. I didn't do half the crazy things he did. Isn't that the truth? You know what? Somebody had that was an older brother for you. All I know is I fought all the battles, and my younger brother got everything I wanted, and they wouldn't get me.
That works.
I wanted Beetle boots. You ain't wearing those fairy boots. Okay. Next thing I know, my younger brother's got 3 pair. Because I wore him down. So he got what he wanted. That's okay. That's what big brothers do.
Yeah, I remember when bell bottoms came out, man. I wanted a pair of bell bottoms so bad because everybody was wearing bell bottoms. And my dad would not allow it. You're not gonna wear those hippie pants.
Right. That's exactly right. Then before it
was kind of odd. My mom finally bought me a pair. My dad kind of, whatever, And of course, my dad was about 10 years behind the fashion. So about 10 years later, he's wearing not bell bottoms, but flares,
Flares, yeah. There were a lot of flares at no time at all. Hey, look at George Pita. Now? Who did this song? Some people smoke meth. Some people smoke crack. Some people snort coke off a Ricky Ball sack. I've tried them all. Don't get me wrong. The best high there is comes from a bong. I don't know who did that.
I don't know.
It sounds pretty psychedelic to me, though. Thank you, George. Thank you, buddy.
Might be an original. You never know.
It might be an original. Yeah. Jersey Devil. Dawson looks like he's 24. So basically, what did you listen to in 2016?
I like Maroon 5 because they were
Yeah.
popular, but also they play
Right.
instruments.
Yeah, right. Well,
Yeah, I'll
there's
give
some.
you that.
So do you like Young Blood? They just did a song with Aerosmith.
Yeah, he's all right. Like I dig him, but like I'm not totally into it, but I do respect it. He's got a nice vocal projection. He's got a rock and roll aura to him, and some of the stuff it's decent. You know, it's
Yeah.
better than a lot of stuff out there. So I'll
Well,
stick with it. I'm on the
okay.
Youngblood train.
Are you gonna? Is he gonna save rock and roll for us all?
No,
Because
no,
that's what I'm
I don't
trying to
know.
do. I'm the resurrection of the Four Horsemen. That's what I'm trying to do. Save rock and roll. Okay. So anyway,
You know, I never even heard of Youngblood until Back to the Beginning concert. I never even heard of the guy.
you know what?
Nora.
I think my grandson mentioned it a while back. It's like he just, I try to get him involved. I try to ask him who the young people are listening to, maybe help me with the show or something. He goes, Papa, just stick to what you know. I mean, that's the respect. That's the respect you get today. And I think I remember him asking me, asking him another time. Well, who do you like to listen to now? He's like, you ever heard of Youngblood? And I was like, no. And it just walks off.
All right.
Seriously, how long has he been around? You know,
I don't. Dawson would know.
Probably 5 years or so.
That long,
Just
huh?
like if you want to know what people listen to, like I listen to Big X the Plug. He's a rapper. He's kind of like Biggie Smalls, but like the newer version of Biggie Smalls.
I love it when you call me Big Papa. Throw your hands in the air. Who's a real player?
one of the things I do, I don't listen to broadcast radio anymore. I listen to XM radio.
Oh.
And you select your style of music on there. And I listen to Ozzy's Boneyard quite a bit. Yeah. And now I have heard from the Back to the Beginning concert of Youngblood singing Changes. I've heard that quite a few times on Ozzy's Boneyard. But
that's interesting.
Outside of that, I really haven't heard any of his music on that channel. So I don't know what genre is he really in. I mean, what subgenre or whatever.
It's kind of like a new rock and roll. I don't know what else to. I think there's other things mixed in, a little rap and stuff. Wouldn't you say, Dawson?
Yeah, I would say just a subgenre of pop. It's like pop rock.
Pop rock, yeah. Okay.
It's like if pop and rock had a illegitimate son, that would be it.
By 75 and 76, Joseph Blue was going out to clubs and disco became very big. I remember that disco era. Oh my God. Yeah. I even had my hair permed. I told that a couple of weeks ago and everybody laughs. And I told them I was going to load a picture and show, but I haven't done that yet. I will.
Yeah, when disco was big, I was in the military back then, so I never really got into it. And when I came back to the stateside, there was so much that changed just that little time I was gone.
Right.
I mean, I came back and I'm hearing everybody had CB radios. I'm going, what is this? CB?
Oh yeah. My handle was 5-card stud because I was from Vegas.
All right, so
yeah, go ahead, Chris.
What you were just talking about earlier, when we were actually still talking about music there for a sec. Well, you were talking about soul and Motown and all that.
Yeah.
That was certainly huge in my musical upbringing. I mean, being here in Windsor, just like a mile across the river from Detroit and Motown and all of that, that was like CKLW, that radio station. That's one of the stations that was probably one of the biggest and most influential in North America between the late 60s and early 80s.
Right.
I mean, they broke so many bands, Alice Cooper, Elton John. They helped him break Hunter. I forget what it was. I have it written down on a paper. I'm going to actually make my own video out of that. But it was all of that, a lot of that. And also, like I was saying before, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, and all this and that. And then to back up Dawson a little bit here, in the 80s, like I was born in 1978. 1990 is when my teenage years started. But in the 80s, I even listened to, like MC Hammer, or a little bit of New Kids on the Block for a short time, But
Yeah.
that was kind of intermittent because that's what all the kids were listening to. That's what was on during that time. But in the 90s, that's when I really started listening to more of my own music, and like some of my favorite bands or CDs that you might not really think of per se, but it's like one of the first ones I bought on CD as Bryan Adams, Waking Up the Neighbors.
Oh, Bryan Adams, yeah.
Yeah, or
Yeah, I saw him in
Cheryl
concert at a winery.
Crow's first one. That was one I used to listen to a lot.
Yeah.
And a bunch of local, like the Tea Party. They're from LaSalle, just outside of Windsor. That's another one I listen to a lot. And I also went to this concert, Robert Plant's Fate of Nations.
Yeah, I have that.
I'm surprised I haven't worn this out in the years. And then the Tragically Hip. I used to babysit for my uncle, and he had a huge house. He had a pool table in his basement, dartboard, and kick-ass stereo. And he had this. This was my introduction to the Tragically Hip.
Oh, okay.
Road Apples. If you guys never heard of the Hip, that's a good album to start with.
I've heard of them, but I haven't heard them.
Listen to that one 10 times.
Oh yeah. And then another one, people kind of put it down. They don't. Is Van Halen. I saw them on the Balance tour, and that's probably, dare I say, my favorite Van Halen album.
Okay, I have that.
But I saw it, and it came out in 95, so I was 17 when it came out, 16,
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah.
And I got to go to the concert and whatever, and and then I hear everybody, oh, it's the worst one. There's a reason they were breaking up. I don't know. If you want to talk about bands breaking up and good albums, look at, Rumors, for example.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got
and the band was breaking up. But
yeah, there was a lot of relationships there. I got to tell you, I saw Van Halen on their reunion tour when they got back together with David Lee Roth, and boy, had things changed. He wasn't getting the big air he used to get. But anyway, I really enjoyed it, and it was a lot of fun because I'd never got to see him live before. But what was really fun was at the encore, when everybody was screaming for an encore, Eddie Van Halen came out, took this little wooden chair, set it in front of a microphone, lowered the microphone, and sat there and must have soloed for like 25 minutes. Just all by himself, no one else on stage. And it was just, oh man, it was to die for, let me tell you. You were talking about Sheryl Crow. Well, we rode our Harleys down to Southern California, and it was a big ride called the Love Ride or something. I can't remember. But Sheryl Crow was playing in the park, and it was a ride that Peter Fonda led everybody on, from Easy Rider. And let's see, who else? Who was the other person you mentioned before Sheryl Crow? Because I know I was going to tell you that.
Steve Purdy.
Wait,
Bryan Adams.
Yeah, I saw Bryan Adams in concert. That was a great show too. I always liked it.
Another one was Hootie and the Blowfish. I used to listen to a lot.
Yeah. Do you guys like? Do you and Dawson like Counting Crows?
I don't mind them.
They're okay.
Okay.
Not something I'd probably go out and choose to listen to per se, but if they're on the radio, I wouldn't change them.
Yeah. My
If
dog's
that makes
behind.
sense, I don't know.
My dog's behind me, sick. She's got a.
And see, another thing that
Oh no.
when that kind of bridged the gap to the heavier stuff and early stuff for Black Sabbath. This was
Oh yeah.
before I saw Paranoid.
Oh,
or
yeah.
anything like that. That was the one I listened to.
About to Rock. Yeah.
Sold Our Soul for Rock and Roll.
Right.
That was basically
right.
their greatest hits up until about the 76, something like
Yeah,
that.
76. Well, this is
Right.
it's missing Warning and Laguna Sunrise because they made it into a single CD. But
Hey guys, you carry on. I'm going to call my wife to get our pup.
okay,
Oh.
that and for Deep Purple, that was the first one I was really into. Well, Machine Head. My dad had Machine Head, but
Okay.
for the rest of it, I think this goes up to 1980. So you get everything up to I think Stormbringer. but it's stuff on there. That was another one that before I really got into Deep Purple,
Okay,
they
honey.
expanded into their
Okay,
collection.
girl.
Yeah, look.
And then a couple of the Metallica records that nobody really likes they came out in the same time when I was the Load and Reload albums.
Yeah.
A lot of people put them down. I love them.
Okay, sorry guys. Our dog Honey, 17 years old, has a really bad tumor between her legs,
Oh no.
and we're just trying to keep her comfortable, for right now, because that's all we can do. She's too old to operate on. They say she wouldn't make it, wouldn't survive the anesthetics and stuff like that. So anyway, she's been doing pretty good, letting us know she doesn't want to go yet. So she's still with us, and we pamper her all we can. So anyway, guys, where were we? One of you guys still talking, or?
Well, it's just showing off a few things. Another one to bring back to the old ones.
Cool.
I know this is
one
of
that's
Nolan's favorite albums too.
Yeah, no, Harvest is wonderful. I love all the Neil Young albums.
I spent 2 summers with my grandfather when I was 16 and 17 up in Stokes Bay, Ontario, just off the Bruce Peninsula.
Okay.
And 2 of the cassettes I remember bringing that I played most often was probably this one and Gasoline Alley from Rod Stewart.
Right.
Because my grandfather, he got me into jazz, and he wasn't too huge on blues, but a lot of jazz, and I was able to try and get him into a little bit of rock and roll,
no
via
kidding.
some Rod Stewart, Neil Young.
Neil Young, yeah. Neil Young likes the town we live in here, Atascadero, California. It's midway between LA and San Francisco, 11 miles from the ocean. And he comes up here. We have a big hotel called the Carlton, fancy place. There was a time when the Carlton was fully open, big restaurant plus a huge sushi bar in there. If you went in there on a Friday or Saturday night and hung out and had a couple of cocktails, stuff like that, before the night was over, practically everybody you knew would walk in. I mean, it was kind of the place to go. And so Neil Young started coming up here. Then he married Daryl Hannah, and they were coming up here together. And right across the street from the Carlton is Traffic Way Records, where I always go on record store day and stuff like that. Well, about 6 months ago, it was announced that Neil Young is going to autograph 300 of his new albums at Traffic Way Records. But, you had to get there like at 5 a.m. and get a wristband or something with a number on it, then stand in line until it was your turn, and you don't get to take any pictures. You can't. I said, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, you don't get to take a picture with him or anything. He was going to autograph your album, but that was going to be the end of it. So I just blew it off, and I have mixed feelings about doing that. You don't get a lot of chances, but and I am a fan. I am a fan. There's no doubt about that. So let's see. Okay, so along with the Beatles and the Beach Boys, this was another, 63, 64 album, Little Deuce Coupe, by the Beach Boys. So that these albums had a lot of really influenced me. And what the funny thing was, I grew up in Vegas area, Henderson, Nevada, and all my cousins were in Bakersfield in California. So every summer we'd go visit them all. And the crazy thing is, they were all huge Beach Boy fans, and I was more into the Beatles at the time. And we would debate and argue and take turns listing hits by the band that we liked the best. For me, it was the Beatles. For my cousin Johnny, it was the Beach Boys. And it usually ended in a draw. Then we come back next summer and have the same argument. Who was better, the Beach Boys or the Beatles? They were both great. They were both, vastly different from one another, but the talent was crazy in both bands. It really was. Okay, so I wanted to show that. Okay, in that same era, of listening to people like Beach Boys, the Beatles, and some of that early stuff, we also had somebody that I was a big fan of, and that was Johnny Rivers. Johnny Rivers, he sang really cool songs, like, for example, he sang Memphis, Maybelline, Mountain of Love, Midnight Special. But I love songs like this, The Seventh Son. Everyone's talking about the seventh son, but in this whole wide world, there's only one, and that's me. Sang The Seventh Son. He sang Secret Agent Man, Poor Side of Town. What a wonderful song Poor Side of Town was. Baby, I Need Your Loving. The Tracks of My Tears. We all know Smokey Robinson wrote that song, the cover. Summer Rain. Let's see. What else do we have here? Anyway, I mean, I really like this guy. He had a lot of really good hits. He was very popular, but he was right in there with an early influence on me. Play guitar and sing. Okay, and then as things progressed, I finally got old enough to drive. I got my very first car, a little '55 Chevy two-door, and I kind of set it up quasi lowrider. The front end was dropped, and I put a 8-track tape deck in it, and underneath the dashboard, I had this long bar, colored lights that pulsated to the beat of the music. And I never realized how crazy that looked until I was driving down the highway on my way to Vegas. And I looked over there and there was somebody going the other direction that had one. The whole damn car was lit up inside with flashing lights. I'm like, oh my God, that's like a bus looking for a place to happen. So anyway, so I finally got my car. I finally got my 8-track tape deck, and I went down to buy. I drove into Las Vegas to buy my first 2 8-tracks. And what did I buy? Well, these aren't those first 2 8-tracks, but these are the albums. Okay, I bought Cream, Disraeli Gears, and I bought Creedence Clearwater, Bayou Country, and I bought both of these at the same time. And they were the first 2 8-tracks I bought at 16 years old. Just got my car. And anyway, try to get out of the glare here because I got the plastic still on them. So anyway, those are the first 2 8-tracks I bought, and I still listen to them. And I can put either one of these as well, CDs, of course. I can put either one of these in my car, and I might not take it out for days. I'll listen to it every damn day. So I still love this stuff. I still love this stuff today. And of course, in that same time period, this is not even half the albums I brought to show. I became a huge fan of Jimi Hendrix, and I believe this is my original album, Jimi Hendrix Experience. I have when I was 16 years old. In fact, I have a little story to go with this, and this is a newer remastered version. But the crazy thing was the Hendrix stuff was pretty cheap. If you look at this price tag here, I don't know how well you can see it, but I paid brand new $13.87, all analog mastering from the original 2-track master tapes by George Marino. Complete original artwork manufactured by Quality Record Pressings. So anyway, Jimi Hendrix, and man, do I love this album and the songs that are on it, of course. Purple Haze.
Did you say that was a 2-track?
No, I thought I said, let's see. 2-track master tape.
Wow.
2-track. Okay. Yeah, that's right. I know. Isn't that crazy? Purple Haze, Manic Depression, Hey Joe, where you going with that gun in your hand? Love or Confusion, May This Be Love, I Don't Live Today. And I love this next one, The Wind Cries Mary. What an amazing song. Fire, Third Stone from the Sun, Foxy Lady, and Are You Experienced? Jimi Hendrix, Mitch Mitchell, and Noel Redding. Mitch Mitchell, the drummer, and Noel Redding, the bass player. Okay, love these guys. I have a massive amount of Hendrix albums, including an 8-album set with the velvet cover on it, 8-album box set. I probably have at least 25. When I say 25 albums, I'm counting every one within a sleeve as one. This is a 3-album set of Jimi Hendrix at Woodstock. I thought I'd bring that too. And I count that as one. The 8-album set I count as one. I have multiple double album sets. They're all counted as one. So I don't know how many actual albums I have, but I probably have at least 25 sleeves full of albums. So anyway, let's get the panel back up here and talk about this some more. So what do you think, guys? Are we working our way through our youth here?
Yeah.
Johnny Rivers was great. Dr. Insomnia, I absolutely agree. I love Johnny Rivers. So many good songs. I mean, when he did Secret Agent Man and The Seventh Son and all those great, and a lot of really great covers. he had a great voice, and he was a good guitar player. I liked him a lot. George Pita, time for a tequila refill. Let me call my wife back in. Call my wife back in. Yeah. Tim Henry, how you doing, Tim? Good to see you. Red House. Oh, Jimi Hendrix, Red House. One of the greatest blues songs ever. I mean, what an amazing song, Jimi Hendrix, Red House.
We talked about Jimi Hendrix. I just had a flashback to one of the albums you showed a couple weeks ago, the Smash Hits. That was one of the albums I listened to a lot. I think it was in my uncle's collection or somebody's collection.
Yeah, and I've always had a CD of that and an 8-track before that, Smash Hits.
I haven't found it on CD yet, but
okay, yeah.
I mean, I haven't specifically looked for it. But.
Right. I'll pull one out. I might have one or two of them actually.
I got the CD.
Oh, do you?
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's I love Hendrix, man. I mean, Hendrix. I've always considered him my number one. Always considered him the greatest guitar player of all time, and sort of a lot of his peers rank him as number one. But you know what? As time goes on, and I'm spreading out a little bit and stuff. I mean, I love Led Zeppelin. I can't actually say I love Jimi Hendrix more than Led Zeppelin anymore. I did for a long time, but I like them both. Can't take anything away from either one of them. But Red House, that's an amazing song. I love the way it ends. And if my baby won't love me no more, I know her sister will.
Yeah.
And what a classic line. Only Jimmy, Let's see now. So let's see. Columbia House, laughing at Columbia House. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I think everybody joined a Columbia House.
I did.
Right.
I mean, how you get I got 20 albums for a penny or whatever it was, you know.
12.
Right. Oh, I know.
I was just thinking the first time I actually had an account under my own name because I had a couple with my dad's name.
Yeah.
But Back in Black, Boston, Shake Your Money Maker, Waking Up the Neighbors. But I used to have them all set aside, the original order for my own, my own account.
Right.
Mind you, I'd already had probably a couple dozen CDs under my dad's accounts, but
something I always wondered too about Columbia House.
King Crimson or Crimson King? Sorry, they were all coming to me. Go ahead, Danny.
Was Columbia the vinyl pressings? Were they a cheaper version of the non-Columbia House version? Because those you can look on the dead wax and see if it's Columbia House or not.
Right.
So it's like the Columbia House pressed their own albums. I just wonder if the quality. Why was it so cheap? Why could you do? They could offer so many albums for a penny. So I'm thinking maybe the cover was cheaper. I don't know what the deal is. Why it was so cheap.
Yeah, I don't really know either. But we had a Columbia pressing plant right here in Santa Maria, 45 minutes from here, and a friend of mine's mother worked at the pressing plant. Okay, and so when I first started to do album unboxing, Royce, you have a good representative collection of great albums. Well, thank you, Eric. Thanks so much, brother. When I first started doing like album unboxing and stuff, which is how I started out, tripod with my phone on it, and me standing up there unboxing albums, hoping I don't knock it over. And so my friend Mike, his name is actually Mike Jackson, his mother worked at Columbia. He gave me a huge crate so I'd have some albums to show. I mean, a lot of like good stuff too. I mean, there was Zeppelin in there, and just everybody. And so I brought that home. Then I started adding to it. And the one thing I got from there, it was a singer Tom Jones, on the Parrot label, because they made albums for other companies too. This was on the Parrot label. A green parrot bird was on the label. And the crazy thing is, the press would come across and stamp an album, but it would pull it back out after it stamped it. Well, there was it was like counting the rings on a tree. I showed this, and I have pictures of it somewhere.
Oh, I remember that.
He put it back. It was like 22 albums stamped together They went, flat on the bottom, but then they curled up, and you counted the rings like the rings on a tree.
Yeah.
And so I have the regular album, just a single album of that, and I'd love to get that back from him, but he wasn't going to give it back. I kept that stuff all too long, and I finally gave it all back to him. And I really wanted that one. I would have paid for it.
I know something I'd like to start collecting. They are available in some cases, are the actual plates that they use to.
Oh
press.
yeah,
I'd like to own some plates for certain different albums. I've got a couple of those. What do you call it? The acetone copies that they make the plates. That makes the plates. That's actual recording. I got one of George Carlin's actual albums, the acetone.
Right.
It's called acetone. Yeah, acetone copy. Yeah.
I may have an album like that too, kind of a not for sale thing. My ex-son-in-law, I still call him my son-in-law. He had a flood in a storage unit. He brought over about 24 albums with thrash covers and stuff that had been all wet and were falling apart. And he said, "Here, see if you can fix them." Like, okay. So anyway, I still have them, but there was some really unusual stuff in there too. Stuff that was never for sale and things like that. Okay, James, that didn't make sense. Why is Caitlin saying James didn't make sense? Let's see. What James are we talking about?
James Watson. Those two have an on-running conversation.
Oh, here he is. Caitlin still sends telegrams. Okay. That kind of doesn't make sense. I don't know. Joseph Blue, I love Cat Stevens. Oh, yeah, Cat Stevens, yeah. Next door neighbor, when I was a teenager, introduced him to me. He brought over tea for the Tillerman. He goes, "Here, listen to this." I almost didn't want to give it back, but I did. But yeah, no, it was great, and I've been a fan ever since. Thanks for bringing that up, Joseph.
Oh my God, you just gave me back an earworm. Moon shadow. Yeah,
I know. Yeah,
it's sticking somebody else's ear now too for a while.
Someone told me Columbia House, they were so cheap because of overstock. They just had a bunch of extra records and didn't sell. They printed too much, and then they sold them for cheap.
Of course, one of the ways they made their money too, they always have the album of the month. It depends on what genre you select. I like rock, so they'd go from that genre, and they would automatically send the album. And if you didn't want the album, you'd have to return the album. I think that's how that worked. Or you'd get a notification the month they're going to send it to you. You'd have to check do not send. But you were obligated to buy so many albums in a certain period of time.
At a certain period of time, right. Well,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
So Columbia House had two different subscription things. They had there was Columbia House, and then there was Columbia House Play. And there was also another one called BMG.
Yeah.
But they had their own pressings. Because I know whenever I used to order off of BMG, they'd all have BMG labels. So.
Yeah. Was that the one that had like a little cow on it or something?
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Well, Columbia House also went into the movie business too, with VHS tapes. Same type of thing. You can order a bunch of VHS tapes for real cheap. But you are, obligated to buy a certain amount in a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And if you didn't request, don't send this month's selection, they sent it to you anyway. And you know what? And I did that. I made a mistake one time. I didn't send it back. Jewel of the Nile cost me $80 for one movie.
One movie. Oh wow, that's expensive. Could have bought a color TV for that. Hey, look! I love this comment by Rockin' Robin Bird. Okay, so she got a Grand Funk Railroad record and Alice Cooper $1 Million Babies, which I'm still looking for. Moody Blues. This is the Moody Blues for $10 from a vendor at a farmer's market of all places. That's way cool. Yeah, I got a couple of Grand Funks. We actually interviewed Dan McNew and I. Dan hooked it all up, set it all up. We interviewed Mark Farner from, lead singer and guitarist for Grand Funk, who's got a new band now, the American Band, right, Dan? Yeah. What a great guy, man. I really liked him.
He had some great stories.
T for the Tillerman. Yeah, he was good. Tim Henry, brother, Columbia House and RCA. That's right. Yeah. Columbia House were lesser pressings. Okay. Teaser. Oh yeah, Teaser and the Firecat. Yeah.
Yeah, see, while you're
Dr.
looking for
Weinstein.
that, Royce, another thing I should bring up maybe is when I grew up, like I was right in the middle of the grunge era too, right? So I listened to a ton of that as well. Like it
Yeah.
was if like if you look at that,
Wow.
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
but that's
Yeah.
that's representative of so much different music. Like it's I got here's one I was pulled out earlier for some of the softer stuff I used to listen to
Mm-hmm.
and still do once in a while.
Okay.
That's a pretty good one. It's a lot of like maybe Americana, just all acoustic stuff,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
or Amanda Marshall. There's another one I used to listen to once in a while. But like yeah, Stone Temple Pilots was probably my favorite grunge band. I have
Oh yeah.
most of their
Yeah.
first 4 albums. After that, they kind of got weird. But
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Nirvana, although they
Well.
weren't huge on my list. So or Soundgarden, all of that stuff was also kind of the soundtrack to my youth. But you
Yeah.
mix
Well,
that
that was
all up,
all.
and
That
then you
was
get
all good stuff. I liked every bit of that. In fact, let's see. When Guns N' Roses split up, Slash was in a couple of different bands. One was
Snake Pit and Velvet Revolver.
okay. We saw Velvet Revolver in concert up here at the Paso Robles Fairgrounds. A dentist friend of mine had extra tickets and called Betty and I and invited us, so we went. And at that time, Scott Weiland was their lead singer
Yeah.
for Velvet Revolver. And boy, what a trippy guy to watch. I mean, the way he crawls around, he looks like he's on all fours and moving around. And he's singing. I don't think he sang a single song that he didn't sing through a megaphone on that concert. It was
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so no, I liked grunge, man. I've done several shows on, well, let's see, Kurt Cobain. I've done several shows on Kurt Cobain. I loved Nirvana. And I mean, all of it, like Alice in Chains. And I think I just bought a Jar of Flies album, Alice in Chains.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Walmart has them right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, and I liked, well, let's see. Well, Pearl Jam was good. I mean, Soundgarden. Let's see, who was the lead singer for Soundgarden? He died.
Chris Cornell.
Chris Cornell. That's right. Yeah. I was a fan of his. He was good.
Audience
I
State was a good band he was in.
Okay. I
Audience
liked.
State.
I pretty much liked all the grunge, really. And I thought the guys were different. They were kind of putting the last nails, I think, in the coffin of glam rock. Big hair rock, glam rock. And just an opinion, but they seemed. I mean, they seemed really down to earth compared to the glam guys. You know what I'm saying? Not that I didn't enjoy the glam rock. I mean, I listened to Motley Crue and well, all of them, Poison, Bret Michaels. Give me something to believe in. And I liked it all too at the time, Eddie Van Halen, all the stuff that was on MTV like day and night for years, But I did welcome grunge in, But it's really weird. It's like it almost left as fast as it came in,
Yeah, kind of. Because if I'm looking at my collection,
you can't even find remnants of it anymore anywhere.
well, I'm looking at my collection and looking at CDs that I used to listen to a lot more then, and I listen to them now, and I'm going, okay, I still like a few songs, but
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what I got about this album at that point. But at the
Right.
time when it all first came out, it's like everything. You like it, and then maybe in retrospective, you like it more or you like it less. But
I've noticed that before. I've done that myself. Find an old album, that I haven't listened to in years, put it on, and in my mind, I remember how the song was, But when you listen to it, it's like I don't remember that song being. It seems different sometimes. It's like,
Right.
It's not how I remembered it.
Maybe not as good, or
yeah. I think in my mind it's better, but when you listen to it, it's like, well, it's not as good as I thought it was originally, But
yeah.
we all have, we go through phases. What we like and don't like.
Oh yeah. Look at George Pita's asking, does anyone remember Jim Croce?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Bad Leroy Brown. What a great song that was.
Time in a Bottle.
Time in a Bottle. Yeah. The opposite of Leroy Brown. I mean, yeah, no, he was great. I think everybody liked that guy a lot. Tim Henry of Music Life, Rockin' Robin. Yes, he did. Okay. Gordon Lightfoot has good tunes. Yeah, Gordon Lightfoot has good foot tunes for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was
Al
another one of
Val.
the artists that came up, got their big break through CKLW and Rosalie Tremblay, and that because
Yeah.
it's like
Well, look
she
at
helped, so many
Al.
people, and all of that. Like I know I'm taking up your time. Sorry, but I'm going to surmise it. It's
No.
all of the stuff you were talking about. You guys are all that rock stuff, all the Motown, the soul, the blues,
Yes.
the jazz that my grandfather got me into, and then the heavy metal. I'm not a huge heavy metal guy. I got all Metallica. I got a Megadeth, some little bit of Pantera.
Yeah.
I guess most of my heavier stuff is the grunge.
Well,
But
what I
have
just
one of my favorites is the Big Chill soundtrack.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, that
all
would be good.
Motown stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I don't mean to take up your time. I'm just kind of at the end. What I'm going to say tonight is just my whole youth was a whole plethora of all kinds of stuff. Like I said, you can't
Yeah. Oh,
touch
yeah. Yeah.
I grew up with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I was born of
Hanging tough, the New Kids on the Block, and then I got past all that, and I got into more rock. But anyways, that's my spiel for the night. Thank you.
Okay. Well, my parents were opposites. My dad was from Texas, and he was all into country. Hank Sr. And in fact, it was within the last year I bought a Hank Williams Sr.'s greatest hits. I still like that, and Bocephus too, and a lot of the other stuff, Willie Nelson, and anyway. But yeah, I got pretty heavy into country. Believe it or not, I got pretty heavy into rap as well. I had all those fun 50 Cent videos, and Snoop Dogg was in a lot of them, and Dre, and that California Love. Kind of a super. I can't even think of it right now. But anyway, I actually liked all of that stuff. In fact, on my iTunes, I still have all those 50 Cent videos, Candy Shop, and what was it, Magic Stick. They were all fun to watch, and there's a lot of visuals there for you too. But anyway, okay, I've got to get going here because I've got about 50 albums I was still going to show right here, believe it or not. A small sampling of the stuff that I love. Okay, Who's Next by The Who.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Who's Next? Yeah, incidentally, I wasn't going to announce this yet, but Who's Next has a new box set coming out.
Oh wow!
And yeah, and I've ordered some. The biggest set is the CDs. It comes with the Blu-ray, DVD, and a 100-page booklet. The ones I ordered were the album versions, and comes with 4 albums. I think a Blu-ray, DVD, and like a 60-something page book. And it's the deluxe album version. But it's Who's Next. It's this album is what it's all based on. Okay. So at the same time, same time period there, Tommy the Who came out. And I mean, these were all influential things here, is why I'm showing them, because they all influenced my musical taste, Yeah, there's just a whole bunch here. Double album set. After that, we were big fans of the Doors. Okay.
Yes.
This was in red vinyl. This is their first album, self-titled. Love all these songs. Break On Through to the Other Side, Soul Kitchen, The Crystal Ship, 20th Century Fox, Alabama Song, Light My Fire, Backdoor Man, I Looked at You, End of the Night, Take It As It Comes, and I love this one, The End. It seems like that plays in every war movie anymore, Okay, and then I finally got this one too. I have a bunch of other Doors albums too. Probably have at least 8 of them. But I didn't have L.A. Woman, and I've been looking for that. And so you don't have to look too far if you're ready to spend some money. This is a great song. Love Her Madly. L.A. Woman. Just skipping here. Crawling King Snake, The Wasp, Texas Radio, and The Big Beat. And a favorite of mine, Riders on the Storm, Me and my buddy took off in his little Volkswagen Bug for Tijuana, Mexico, from Vegas, and we listened to Riders on the Storm half the way there. Just came out. Okay, Chicago. I saw Chicago in concert at the Las Vegas Convention Center. If you want to call it seeing them in concert, I was up with my back up against the concrete wall, the worst seats in the house, and been drinking a little bit and stuff. And I looked at my friends and said, "I'm going to go find a better seat." And I'm like holding people's shoulders as I go down the aisle, And so all of a sudden, I wake up and I'm staring at the ceiling and the lights are all on. And I pull my head up and they're sweeping the place. And I was on 5 seats in the front row at this concert. That's my Chicago concert story. Big fan of Santana. They blew my mind at Woodstock with songs like Soul Sacrifice, just absolutely amazing. And I've been a huge fan ever since. This is the only album I have right now, and I don't know why, but I always had at least this one in an Abraxas, I mean, the music changed a little bit over time, but the guitar playing was always just absolutely sweet. Okay, I don't know if Erger Splittin' Loudon Boomer's out there still, but guess what? I found out where he got his name. I'm going to make this big. Hold on, guys. Let's see if I can find it. Right here, the second song down is, let me see, I'll probably never, it says Erger Splittin' Loudon Boomer. Do you know how many times I've typed that to say hi to him? So now I know where it came from, Erger Splittin'.
And what album is that?
This is Steppenwolf 7.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah, I love Steppenwolf. Oh my God, what a great band. So we had Ball Crusher, Hippo Stomp, Days and Nights, Renegade, Foggy Mental Breakdown, Who Needs Ya, Snowblind Friend, Erger Splittin' Loudon Boomer, and Fat Jack. Okay. All right. I was also a big fan of Joe Cocker. Here's Mad Dogs and Englishmen. Joe Cocker. Saw them in concert. Okay. Honky Tonk Woman, Sticks and Stones, Cry Me a River, Bird on a Wire, Feeling All Right. Let's Go Get Stoned. I'll drown in my own tears. Let's see. What song am I looking for here? I think Came In Through the Bathroom Window's got to be on here too. Yeah, She Came In Through the Bathroom Window. That's a cool song. Anyway, so we had all kinds of people playing on this. Wow. Great album. I have 2 Joe Cocker albums. I was also a monster fan of Eric Burdon. I used to ride my Harley Davidson every year to the Laughlin River Run. And we were there one time, Betty and I, with a lot of friends and stuff too. And I picked up one of these little things out of the newsstand that just told you what was happening in Laughlin. And right across the street from where we were standing, Eric Burdon was playing. It was about 10 years ago. I didn't even know he was still alive. So I immediately called, bought 2 tickets. Tiny, tiny venue. Oh my God. Like a classroom almost. Well, bigger than that. But so it was like a highlight for me of that trip and many trips to be standing up on the last song with everybody else in the room and Eric Burdon in the band singing House of the Rising Sun. That was a major highlight for me. I was so glad I found this. But this is a great album. It's got San Francisco Nights, Monterey. Let's see, White Houses, Winds of Change, To Love Somebody. Oh, Sky Pilot. Dan, do you like Sky Pilot? What a wonderful song that is. I figured maybe you guys, when you were in the military and stuff, you probably heard that a bunch.
I'd have to hear it to remember it. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the preacher sending the soldiers out to battle in Vietnam. And they went out and you hear all these explosions and stuff, and they came back and a lot of them are missing. And we'll look it up. Listen to it. Eric Burdon's Sky Pilot. And tell me what you think. I think you're going to love that song. Then, of course, Deja Vu, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
I've got that one.
Yeah, and plus a couple of other people, Dallas Taylor and Greg Reeves. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, this is a great album. I found a really clean copy of it. Um, Great band. Well, I tell you what, I lost my mind when these albums came out. Led Zeppelin 1 and 2. Okay. I was going to a school out in Las Vegas, a high school / trade school / junior college. A little too liberal. We all got in too much trouble because they let you do what you wanted to do. They treated you like an adult. It's a big mistake for us. Anyway, so well, Led Zeppelin 2, of course, had a single, Whole Lot of Love, and they came out just months apart in the same year, 69. So a lot of people didn't actually recognize Led Zeppelin 1 or didn't even know about it until 2 came out with the single Whole Lot of Love. And that's when everybody went completely apeshit. So anyway, these are great albums. Love them. But Led Zeppelin 1 is just, I listen to this album, all of a sudden it's my favorite Led Zeppelin album. And then I'll listen to this one, it becomes my favorite Led Zeppelin album. And then I'll listen to this one for Zoso. It becomes my favorite Led Zeppelin album. It's kind of like whatever I'm listening to becomes my favorite Led Zeppelin album. Another album I had a lot of fun with and really enjoyed listening to was, this is a live album by the Rolling Stones, Get Your Ya-Ya's Out. So many great songs. I wore out at least 2 8-tracks of this. Jumpin' Jack Flash, Carol, Stray Cat Blues, Midnight Rambler, Love in Vain, Sympathy for the Devil, Little Queenie, Honky Tonk Woman, Street Fighting Man. I mean, just a great collection of songs, all live. And I've gotten to where I really, really like the live albums. And this is Hot Rocks, a double album set by the Stones. And this goes from 1964 to 1971. So there's a huge collection of just amazing hits. I mean, just crazy. Brown Sugar, Wild Horses, Gimme Shelter, Honky Tonk Woman, Satisfaction, Paint It Black, Jumpin' Jack Flash. That's one of 4 lines of songs here. I highly recommend this. Highly recommend it. Especially the version I have here with the gold marbled vinyl. And then I had to pull this out because I absolutely love this album. And this is the one with the actual operating zipper. Okay. Looked for that one for a while, found it. And it's not an original. The original had a larger zipper, which kept damaging things, not only its own cover, but it would damage like whatever albums were being pressed against it because it was a great big zipper, So they downsized it a little bit, and that's what I have. Anyway, love this album. But as I was telling you guys earlier, this might be either mine or my older brother's original. I told you we used to hitchhike out to his house and hang out and listen to Sgt. Pepper's. I turned back into a Beatles fan after a long hiatus, listening to all this other stuff and ignoring the Beatles. I became a Beatles fan once again because of Sgt. Pepper's. And so that is, this may be my original home copy. I had a little record player in my bedroom. Or it may even be my brother's. And this is a remastered Sgt. Pepper. I got the hype sticker on the shrink in the back here. It says Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band as you've never heard it before. It's an anniversary edition. So anyway, it sounds really good too. I just love the people that are on this, I mean, oh my God, there's Bob Dylan. How many roads must a man walk down? W.C. Fields. Oh, she was a woman that drove me to drink, and I never wrote her to thank her for it. Let's see, who else do we have here? Oh, Marlon Brando with his hat on right there. Marlon Brando. My older brother, you were supposed to be looking out for me. I could have been a contender, not a bum. I could have been somebody. Let's see. Tarzan. Okay. Enough of that. Hey, we have the Beatles right here, man. I got the Beatles. Wow. I think this is boxer George Frazier right here. Let's see. Let's see. Who else do we have here? There's a whole bunch of notable people here. Marilyn Monroe. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Who else do we have here? I don't know. There's a cast of characters. Anyway, Anyway, this may be my favorite album cover of all time right here.
You got the little doll on the side, on the right side.
Okay, on the right side, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Our friends, the Rolling Stones.
Right. Oh, yes. Okay. All right. I have shown the albums I was going to show tonight. Okay. What do you guys got to say for yourselves, Horseman? Hey, Chris, are you still Horse with no name?
No, I'm Peace, remember?
That's right. You were Peace. I'm Resurrection. Dan is Conquest.
Conquest.
Michael is War.
Warhorse. Yeah, Michael. Okay, so Dawson, you're the fourth horseman tonight. Have you got a name for yourself? You're on the pale horse.
Can I be a bull?
A what?
A bull.
A bull
horse.
Yeah.
Depends on what you're full of.
Hey, pale horse, pale rider. I mean,
Or if I'm a horse, do I have to be a horse?
No, you don't have to be. None of us are. No, no. The horses are just symbolic. There were 4 colors. Michael chose the red horse, and he chose to be Warhorse. And then Dan chose the what was it, the white horse?
White horse, yeah.
White horse, and your Conquest. And I chose the black horse, and I had a choice. They really symbolize death, but I thought I'm trying to like resurrect rock, the 4 horsemen. And
actually, I don't mean to hurt your feelings, Royce, but pale horse is actually death.
Okay.
Black horse is famine.
Well, it just depends on which one you read.
Close enough.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm Rampage the Bull.
Rampage the Bull?
Yeah.
Right on. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. We all get to choose our own. Okay, cool. So, guys, any closing comments here, folks? Probably going to be shutting her down here pretty soon.
Something I put in the chat there, just looking at all the albums, as I already commented earlier, just looks like everything I grew up with, all my uncles, my dad's collection, my cousin's collections.
Right.
Everything I'm just getting a different flashback with every album you're taking out. It's like, wow.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, I was just trying to have a decent cross section of periods of my life, But there's plenty more. I mean, I might have shown 2 albums of a certain band where I've got 20 or 12 or 15 but I didn't want to show everything that I have.
Yeah.
Save that for another time.
Well, I just did that by turning my camera. That was close as you're going to get.
Well, Dr. Insomnia saw Stone Temple Pilots live. That's totally cool.
Oh, I partied with all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Stone Temple Pilots. I got to party with all of them one night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Totally cool. I think I remember you saying that before.
That was November of '92 when they first came out, and they came to Dallas, and nobody really heard of them, But I heard the song "Sex Type Thing" on the radio. I went out and bought the CD.
Okay.
And a week later, they were in concert, downtown Dallas. So I went and saw them, and not a big venue, so I got to hang out with them till like 4 a.m.
Right. Well, that's really cool. And Rockin' Robin Bird loves grunge. I love grunge too. I really enjoyed it. We got Storm Cop, James. You guys gave a great night. I'll catch you on the next live. Awesome. Hey, everybody, make sure you guys have smashed that thumbs up button for us. Trying to hit that milestone of 50. I have no idea where we are. I can't see it. But Storm Cop, just remember next week we're going to be covering the British invasion on our Sunday podcast. And the week after that, we're going to cover, how America responded to the British invasion. There was a bunch of kind of pissed off people that the American bands were being ignored. I read that.
I chose the Doors because I wanted to go like far back into music, and so Jim Morrison had the rocker look, and he had the leather pants, and he was one of the first guys to kind of do that, and also I like the poetry aspect.
Right.
One of my best friends, he liked the Doors too, and it was just a way for us to rediscover rock and roll from its like beginnings in the psychedelic era.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, right on. Thank you, Dawson. Tim Henry, I hope you're doing well, brother. Caitlin, my favorite grunge was Alice in Chains. I liked Alice in Chains too. What was this song, "Man in the Box," that played constantly on MTV with the eyes stitched shut? It was kind of weird in a way, but it was something about the song that really grabbed me.
Actually, I heard the meaning behind the song was veal. That's what they do to when they do veal, they put them in a pen so they don't get bruised up or whatever.
I see.
Before the slaughter. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's true or not,
sad.
but I've heard it a couple times.
You see that stuff, you want to be a vegetarian. Well, I could probably never do that, but grunge didn't last long. No, it came in strong, kind of knocked out Big Hair Rock, and then before you knew it, you woke up and it was gone. It was weird. It just I don't know what happened. I've never seen a genre evaporate so quickly. If you guys,
yeah, even punk didn't do that because it resurrected in the late 80s, early 90s. I suppose punk could have been, well, maybe grunge was kind of like punk, brought up 2 years or 2 decades, maybe.
Right.
Because if you like Green Day, if you ever listen to Green Day, they're considered punk. They're kind of considered grunge, but if you take some of their songs, they could fit right in the late 70s.
Another show I considered doing actually tonight, earlier in the week, was Blondie. That covers quite a spectrum of some punk, some rap. You know what I mean? And I really like their sound too. But anyway, so anyhow, let's see. Angela joined us. Good to see you, Angela. Yeah, you can catch us on the replay. If there's anybody watching that's not in the chat, because I think everybody in the chat is subscribed already, but if you're watching the show and you'd like to subscribe, please go ahead and subscribe now. There's a button on the screen. You just got to hit the button and you're subscribed. If you want to hit the notification bell, you'll get a one-time notification of new shows coming on. Anyway, and every once in a while, we've started sneaking in more midweek pre-recordeds. I did one this week. And I had fun with it, and it's still growing too. It's been doing pretty well actually. I just put it on. Michael Nolan and I both did a show the other night, and I went early because it wasn't a normal night for Michael, which is Sunday and Wednesday, and I think it was might have been Friday, and so I let Michael know I was going to be going at 5 because this 6:30 is late. When you go back east, we're starting at 9:30 and stuff like that. So I thought I'd start a little earlier. People are start trailing off. Everybody gets tired. I mean, I've been working on this insane foundation, and we're pouring the concrete in the morning at 7:30.
Yikes.
And I know. And we have like 150 feet of 4-inch rubber hose from the street up the steep driveway to the job, and then the concrete's going to dump the concrete from the chute into the pump, and it's all going to be pumped out of the hose up above. And once we get that done, I mean, we had to excavate so close to the house that we had to put these helical piers in that go way deep into the ground until they cannot even penetrate anymore, and they sit underneath the foundation because you're coming close to undermining the foundation when you make a 12, 14-foot cut, 6 feet away from a building, and the foundation on the building is only about 18 inches deep. So anyway, we had to put all this special reinforcement on the existing house. So I'm going to be really glad when we finally get this poured tomorrow. The block guy comes in, lays all the big retaining walls in, and we finally backfill those and everything like that. And pretty soon we start framing the second story to match the second story upstairs. It's for a 900 square foot addition. This is like more work than you could possibly imagine, but I'm enjoying it. I needed a challenge, and this is very much that. I had to have special third-party inspections, not part of the design inspectors. I mean, like the structural engineer, the soils engineers that design parts of the project. They don't want those guys, man. They might be too good of friends of mine or anybody else's. You have to go hire an independent third-party inspector that comes out and inspects what they want inspected, and then have all these tickets when your regular building inspector shows up. Well, here's what the soils guy said about the excavation and the grading and the trenching for the foundations. Here's what the special inspector said about all the rebar and steel. And here's what this other inspector said about all these helical piers that we put in to help support the existing building. And so you got to get all that done before you even call for a city inspection, which is usually the toughest inspection you get here. And they came out and they were really cool about it, signed it off, and that was that. So anyway,
sounds like a lot of work to me.
it was a hell of a lot of work. In fact, my body's hurting just thinking about pouring all that concrete tomorrow.
I don't even get up till 9 o'clock. So,
well, I'm usually up without even trying around 4:30, and that would be 4:30. 5 o'clock would be like, oh my God, I've slept in, you know. But so anyway, all right, guys. So I enjoyed the show tonight, and if I have any closing statements, I really enjoyed taking this walk through memory lane. It was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to shows that are like, you know, this is like all unscripted kind of stuff, you know. We're just winging it with our music and our memories, you know. And I actually like doing stuff like that because sometimes it's a little more scripted. You've got your notes and things like that. So to me, it was just fun just winging it tonight.
Yeah.
So anyway, I want to thank everyone in the chat that joined us. We really appreciate all of you. Angela got to make it here. It's a great album. Who's next? Even if they are taking a leak on a rock. Somehow I never noticed that. I'll have to go back and look. Val, Who's Left is going to be the last Who album. Who's Left? Piccolina, my friend Piccolina the cat. Primus was pretty good too. Have them all. Nice. Our good friend Tim Henry of Music Life. Well, I'm off. Wishing all of you a wonderful night. Thank you for the stream, Royce. Much love to you all. Thanks so much, Tim. Much love to you, brother. I hope all is well. I know you've had some little bit of medical stuff lately here. So hope all is well, brother. We've been praying for you. I agree, Tim. Never heard Mark Lanigan's solo stuff, but want to check it out. Right on. Dr. Insomnia, my brother, my buddy. For the longest time, I thought they were meditating. Didn't notice the pee stains till a decade later. Oh, man, you guys are killing me. I got to find that. I don't really have to find it now, but my curiosity is up. Oh, man, I hope it's not the other stuff.
Well, at least it wasn't the Alamo.
Yeah, Ozzy. That's Ozzy. Only Ozzy at the Alamo, right? Yeah, that cut deep, man. The Alamo, man. I used to, when I was a little kid, I had the plastic Alamo fort, kind of like the Barbie doll, house.
Oh yeah.
But only for warriors, And we had all the cannons and soldiers and. Okay, here it is. Here's the album. Now I gotta really get a good look at this because.
They're all doing their zippers.
I thought it was the shadows.
They're all pulling their zippers up. Oh my God! Look at the water on the column. Are those shadows?
No,
those aren't shadows. Angela, you called it. Thank you so much.
Well, one of them I only see 3 stains, so one of them didn't do anything.
Oh yeah. Must be the one that's not pulling his zipper.
He's standing in front of it.
Yeah, I think he's standing in front of it. Yeah.
Well, he might have been shy and went around the corner. Who knows?
I think that's Townsend, isn't it?
Wow, that is really cool. I mean, I'm going to be educating people on that.
Hey, Royce, is that Townsend standing there, like with his back against it? Because I think the one in black.
I think that has to be Townsend. Yeah.
Because the one in black that looks like the Ox.
Okay.
John Entwistle. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, it does look like Entwistle. Yeah.
I would have been more impressed if they would have spelled their names.
Okay. Got Carla Murray. Thank you so much for being here. Rock and Robin Bird, our dear friend. Good night, Tim. Good to see you today and tonight. Yes, it was good to see Tim. Yeah. Caitlin, my good friend Caitlin. We go back about, 4 or 5 years now. Other shows that we were both on. Touch Me, Break On Through are my favorite. Yeah, Doors. Yeah, those are great songs. Rock and Robin Bird. I love Riders on the Storm too, Caitlin. I love that song. Like I mentioned earlier, when I read that song off the album, I said, me and my buddy Steve Rothstein took off in his Volkswagen Bug heading for Tijuana, Mexico. Go down there and check out some TJ. And we listened to that half the way there. We listened to Riders on the Storm. Bill K, hey brother, how you doing? Man, how long you been here, Bill? We had a fun show tonight. We were talking about all the albums we loved in our youth and how they shaped kind of our taste in music. Cool, Royce. My guitar instructor got to see Chicago back in the early 70s. Right on. Boy, there is no telling how far behind I am on this chat. I really picked up on that when I read that last comment. Let's see, where's the bottom of it? No, I can't get to the bottom. I keep scrolling. Well, see, that's the thing. That's why it's hard if there's somebody in here. Got George Pita, Jersey Devil. After 50 years, Royce spots the urine on the cover. Jersey, you busted me. Yeah, it took me that long, didn't it? Let's get Royce 50 likes. How many do I have? I don't even have it. I can't even see it in front of me.
You were up to 36 a little while ago, I think.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, 50 is always a biggie. If I can get
41.
Yeah, if I can get 50 by the end of the show, you will watch those view numbers climb. Oh, Jay Kleiben's here. Awesome, brother. You'll watch those numbers on the views start to climb rather quickly if you get 50 before you end the show. So I'm not going to hang out for an hour to do that, but just if you haven't hit the like button, folks, go ahead and hit it for me. Hey, wait. I see Groovy Lisa. Hey.
Groovy Lisa.
Hey, how are you? All right. Thanks for showing up, girl.
Yes.
Thanks for showing up. We got Douglas Gilbert. We've got, of course, Dr. Rick, James Watson, Chris Elliott. Who's that? Bill K. Joseph Blue, my brother. My favorite album cover is Sticky Fingers. Yeah, it is a fantastic album cover. It really is. Sgt. Pepper's is damn cool though too, you know. Let's see, Carla Murray, Caitlin, James Watson. There is a third one now, and Jersey Devil. There's a third one now at Jersey Devil. Okay. Angela, Joseph Blue. I think that song and Fortunate Son are in the soundtrack of every movie. No, isn't that the truth, Angela? Every movie about Vietnam. Yeah. The end is in all those movies. This is the end. Boy, what haunting lyrics those are on the end. Yeah, I can just see that little boat going upstream and Apocalypse Now with stuff like that playing. What a crazy! Did you guys see that movie, Apocalypse Now?
Oh yeah,
great movie.
Oh my God, I've seen it 4 or 5 times. You had Marlon Brando. You had Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen did a great job as that captain that was going upstream to kill Marlon Brando. What a great movie! Oh my God, and Platoon. Platoon was excellent.
Robert Duvall. I love the smell of gasoline in the morning.
Yeah, and then they're all surfing. He's got a group of surfers and a champion surfer from California. They're out there surfing in the middle of a war. That was classic, man. Okay, so we got Dawson Walters. Tune into Kate's channel. That's right. Caitlin Stoddard, Kate's Magical Channel. I'm sorry, Kate's Magical Corner. I tune in every chance I get, and I love it. It's fun. Michael Nolan's there. Every time I show up, Michael Nolan's already there. So is Dawson Walters. And Kate is, Kate writes up concerts for people that go in magazines and stuff like that. So she's got her stuff together, and you will get an education at Kate's house. Caitlin's Magical Corner. Please check her out. She's a lot of fun. And Kate is just absolutely great people too. So yeah. All right, Kate, I am guessing Dumbo is your favorite. No idea who she's talking to. All right, guys, we're going to sign off. Like I said, last chance to hit that like button. Get me a little closer to 50, and we'll go from there. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Panelists, I don't need to be big. What am I doing? Okay. Dan, Chris, Dawson, thank you all for being here. I appreciate the help and the fun each of you brought to the show. And so we're going to sign off now. And that's what's happening in Royce's world today. Thank you all so much for joining. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Right, everybody.